Holy hell, mother of God, we've got a Batman. I'm Batman. I'm back. He's back. Michael Keaton's back as Batman. We're going to talk about the Flash trailer. It's Rick Shoot from Friends from Work, and I've got a bunch of friends with me. Hang tight.
Everybody come on, let's get down. Get down.
First of all, that music's really badass. Anybody on this panel write that music?
It's okay.
Freak Bass, my friend, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. It's a full day of live streaming for me. Yes.
Yes. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys doing this. This is quasi last minute. Zaki Hassan, how
Hi.
are you?
I'm excited.
Zaki, who the hell are you? What do you do?
Dad? I am a film critic with the San Francisco Chronicle, and I am a professor of communication and media studies at various schools in the Bay Area.
You're damn right you are. One of the best in the business.
I appreciate that.
Good to see you. Mr. Bob Seska, what up?
Hey, Rick. Really psyched about this. I've watched this now maybe a dozen times so far.
I'm losing my fucking mind. This is gonna be rated R. Everybody forgive me. And we'll do plugs at the end, but Bob is a badass podcaster. We'll get to more of that later. And then we've got another pretty good podcaster, my buddy Aaron.
What's up?
How do you say your last name again?
Varola.
It's
not Viola.
It's not Viola.
Nope.
I've purposely fucked this thing up a million times, but
100 times.
Fanboy Garage, how you doing, man?
That's right. Hey, what's up, man? Thank you for the invitation. Excited about this.
You are very welcome. Thank you for doing this. Okay, guys. So James, so the we just had kickoff. So go Chiefs. I hate the Eagles, but so we thought this thing was going to drop a little later than it did, but James Gunn has tweeted out the trailer for Flash, which is fucking mind-blowing. So I'm going to play it and we're going to watch it together, and then we're all going to react. Sound off below. Give me a moment because I'm playing with some software for the first time doing this. So here we go. We're going to watch the trailer together, and let's see here. Present. That's where it was at. There we go. There we go. No, we got it. All right, everybody bear with me here. We up? Perfect.
It's great when things don't play with sound.
Wow.
Great casting for the young Ezra Miller.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was Bruce Wayne. I think that was Keaton's Bruce Wayne. And that was his parents. I'm pretty sure. Didn't look like Ezra Miller's hands, like an older man's hands.
Interesting color choices here. With the yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck and is not playing Batman anymore.
Not his bloated face.
He's like one foot out the door.
This is interesting. The whole inclusion of Zod. I didn't think they were going to go this route.
Yeah, that blew me away when I saw. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it already, but actually seeing it on screen, that was like, what? It was like 2012 all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
How great does he look?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still can't turn his neck though.
Woo! Woo!
But look at this guy get down. Damn.
Wow.
How great does that CGI of Michael Keaton
Yeah.
look now?
Yeah.
Body of it.
Affleck.
Is
Now,
that Affleck? That is Affleck, you think? Yeah.
Yes. And actually later we see Affleck's Batman suit, and it's gray and blue.
I saw that.
Right. I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a shot where he's like, yeah, there it is.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that his motorcycle looks like the Bat Pod.
That's a great shot of Keaton's Batman right there.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, this whole sequence is amazing. I love this.
Fuck,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great shot too.
That's cool.
I hope they keep her.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't mention any casting whatsoever for Supergirl, so
Right.
I think deliberately, if this version is well received, I think they'll keep her.
agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
All right.
my God.
Wow.
All right.
Even with no sound, it's wow.
I
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah.
I want to go around and I'm gonna try to control this as best I can. Uh-oh. Go away. Okay. I'm gonna try to control this because I'm losing my effing mind. I've got goosebumps. Real quick, I watched this trailer the first time on my phone, and I was really confused because I thought that was Henry Cavill. Anybody else feel that at first, or I mean, maybe you watched it on a different platform?
I did too for a hot second. Then
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute.
I'm like,
and-
this is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Like, I
For-
totally forgot that Supergirl was in this movie.
Yeah, me too. For just a second, so I'm having some facts about Batgirl and all this. It's plus there's been a lot of changes too, right? Zachy, I'm gonna start with you. Give us your thoughts, buddy. What'd you think of that trailer?
Well, I've been saying every time we've seen any footage from this or the poster, I'm kind of like, this is my Batman, which happens to feature the Flash in it. So I'm kind of like, and I like Ezra Miller as the Flash, but I'm like, all right, Ezra, okay, okay.
Step aside.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. Now, that being said, I think the trailer itself looks great, and I'm excited for the movie. But look, I have waited 31 years to see Michael Keaton. Actually, that's not even fair. I never thought I'd see Michael Keaton back as Batman. So it's not like
Sure.
I've waited. It's just for 31 years, it's this thing I never thought would happen, and I'm seeing it, and I am just so ecstatic about being about to experience that.
And let's face it, the coolest moment of the trailer, empirically, this is not a matter of opinion, is when he says, "I'm Batman." Everybody agrees with that, right? I mean,
I didn't think they were going to give it to us. I thought it was just gonna
Yeah,
be
I
a
thought they were
Oh.
gonna.
and
Yeah,
then
I
cut.
thought that too.
oh,
Yeah,
hey, Bob, and didn't you like it how he was quasi self-aware of how much people are love him saying that?
Oh yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I think it would be criminal if they had him in this movie. It's maybe the only time we see him back as Batman. And if he didn't say it, that would be
Right.
like you can't leave that out.
You
I mean,
can't leave it out.
it'd be like it'd be like leaving out the suit. I mean, it's hand in hand. Yeah.
So I asked the professor on the panel, where was his commencement speech a couple of years ago, where he said that at the very end?
Oh yeah, I don't know, but that
So
was the moment, right?
I think that was the moment. Also, maybe he knew he was coming back too, but that has a whole new meaning to me now. They were probably talking to him about this at the time. Oh, it's so great. So, Freak, what'd you think, man? Where's your head at?
Well, just like you, goosebumps, everything, all the above. I think of all the images that like shook me the most was, we mentioned it when we were watching it, was Zod.
Right.
I knew Zod was going to be in it. I didn't think. I mean, we don't know how big of a role he's going to have, obviously, by the trailer, but like the way that looks straight out of the Zack Snyder movie. I'm talking about just
Yeah.
visually in terms of
It does.
the filters, the CGI. I mean, it looked like straight up 2012. I mean, it did not look, and I don't mean that in like a shade kind of way. Like it's like whoa.
The
And
aesthetic, yeah.
Michael Shanahan, as you all know, is just such an incredible actor, and to have him, it just brought a gravitas on top of having Keaton, of course, but it brought a gravitas to this whole thing, having, especially how his career's been since Man of Steel, which has been like just going up, that he's in this. It just really brought it to a next level to me.
Me
There's a
too. And I wasn't expecting him. And go ahead, Bob, please.
I was gonna say there's a shot in there where Supergirl is fighting Feora. And there's a brief,
Yeah.
where I think
Ooh,
they
I missed it.
simultaneously,
I missed
yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Right, and
So-
she's got the helmet on, so you're gonna miss it a little bit. She's got the Kryptonian helmet on, like when they
Right.
first appear in Man of
Mhm.
Steel. So it's, you blink and you miss it, but it's there. I went back and I think on viewing number 28, I think that's what
Frame by
Fine.
frame.
Yeah.
And Bob, I knew you were doing this with me today, and thank you again. But even if you weren't, you were still the first person I thought of when I saw Affleck. Obviously, we knew he was in the film. I was surprised actually they used him in the trailer. I just was.
Yeah.
And it was a nice surprise. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great way to put it. I was shocked to see Affleck in the trailer. I knew he was going to be in the movie because we're starting out in the Snyderverse era, modern times, and he's Batman. And so I knew that was going to happen. But to feature him in the trailer, I think it was a bold move. I think that was especially given the fact that we've got this reboot, soft reboot, whatever we're calling it, happening where he's going to be replaced. There's going to be a new Batman. And so to put that the old regime Batman into this, I think is great. And they've obviously moved the suit in more of a colorful direction. It's not, obviously we're not talking about Technicolor, but it's, as I said before, there's that great shot where you see Batman, and it's the first time I think we've seen Batfleck wearing the blue and the gray, and that's kind of exciting too. I will say I'm not, and I'm admittedly a nitpicker when it comes to the suits, when it comes to especially Batman suit, and I'm not 100% on board with Keaton's new suit. I was kind of hoping that we would see something that was closer to the 89 or 92 suit. But it's okay. It's fine.
Well, he could move his neck finally. It looks like.
I don't know about that.
No, he looked pretty
But
stiff.
you know what? I don't.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
I don't.
old.
I don't worry about the whole neck movement thing. I'm
I don't
fully
either.
in that suspension of disbelief where it's really his neck forming that big thickness and everything. So I don't like get too deep into the construction of the suit as far as whether or not that's practical in the universe of the movie. So
Well, and one of
not
the best
worried
shots,
about that.
one of the best shots of him of all time, in my opinion, is in '89 on the Cathedral, where he just
Oh, yeah.
he
Whips
spins
his whole
around.
body around. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
well, hello, Aaron.
Hi.
Hi, buddy.
What's up?
I'm nervous about your opinion on this. Can't lie.
I was ready to poo on over it, and
How do you
I
feel?
was fucking blown away by the whole thing.
Just to preface this,
I mean, the thing-
Aaron and I are good friends, and we've talked on the phone today, and he was going on some rants. I was like, "Well, you're gonna come on this show and piss on everybody's Cheerios or what?"
Yeah, I was getting ready for it, man. I had drank like a 64-ounce bottle of water. I was ready to go.
But you
Yeah,
liked it?
I'm pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. I do think that the choices of including Affleck is bold. I think, you know, if I was worried that Batman would be too prevalent in the trailer, because I mean, obviously they're trying to hook everyone and they're using nostalgia to do it. I think they played it nicely. Still very much feels like a Flash movie. I think the whole idea that, you know, he goes back into time and essentially erases all of the metahumans makes it a very interesting challenge for him to overcome. While still, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's pulling from some of the Flashpoint material, but it looks fucking amazing.
I love it.
It looks
And
amazing.
you know, I was bagging on the Batman suit. I should say that when I saw the first teaser for this, I don't know what it was, 3, 4, 8 years ago when we first got our glimpse of this, I was concerned about the new Flash suit, but those concerns have been assuaged. I'm okay with it. It looks good. Now that we've seen it fully realized, we're getting more shots of it, and it looks outstanding. I think it's almost entirely CG, isn't it? I think we've seen set shots and video where Ezra Miller is wearing the
mocap.
CG motion capture suit.
Yeah.
So I think this new suit is all CG.
The other thing I thought was interesting, to your point, Freak, was that each universe feels different. Like even the tonality of the way that things are shot, and to your point, the filters. Like you can tell he's jumping from different places to different places because it all looks and feels very different.
I agree with that. And Zach, I'm gonna go to you real quick and talk about something you mentioned. So I was a junior in high school when Batman Returns came out. And even though I try to forget that movie, I'm kidding. I am kidding, because Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer are phenomenal in it, so I can still enjoy the film. But I'm on the panel right now helping plan my 30-year high school reunion. So which was in 1993. So it just blows my mind how long ago it was last time we saw him as Batman on the big screen, especially when I juxtapose it with my real-time situation. You talked about, and you jokingly said you've waited 30 years or whatever, but you didn't think you would ever get him, nor did I. But now that he's here, watching just the footage that we saw and seeing Michael Keaton's Batman in the, I guess, call it the post CGI world, or however we want to phrase it. I mean, let's face it, a lot of things have changed since 89 and 92 from a technology standpoint, and in comic book films, which I would argue none of this would be here without Superman the movie working, and a lot of this wouldn't be here without Batman 89 working. So with all that said, taking all that into account and all the history and context, what was it like for you just seeing his Batman in a modern film? I mean, even just the minimal footage that we got. I hope I'm phrasing that the way I'm intending to do.
No, I think so. Yeah. Well, it was surreal, just seeing him back, right? And it was. I said, a couple of years ago, I was seeing when Spider-Man No Way Home came out, and I was seeing people's reactions to Tobey Maguire is back, and they were so excited, and I was happy to see him, right? But I didn't have the same relationship with Spider-Man, the first film, that I did with Batman, because of my age. You know what I mean? And I remember
Sure.
I said to Brian Hall, my co-host on my show, I was like, I think that's what I'm going to feel like, in whenever Flash comes out, because I know they kept kicking it down the curb. And so it was what I said when we watched just now. It's like he looks great in the suit. He does, like, it helps that you just need that part of his face, but he's got the voice. I've said it for years. I'm like, hands down, in live action, Michael Keaton has the best Batman voice, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
And and he's not doing anything. It's just he's just lowering it an octave, and it's just he's there, and the little twinkle in his face, acknowledging, hey,
Yeah.
you know what you want me to say,
Absolutely. And to that point, I agree with you. And I would say Christian Bale in Batman Begins specifically in that film is a very close second. But
Yeah.
but the scene in Batman 89 where he looks at Jack Napier, Joker, and says, "Excuse me, you ever danced with the devil?" Pelham?" And he drops his bat voice. He's just Bruce Wayne, Michael Keaton, whatever. And then, "You killed my parents." He goes right back into it. That transition to me is a great testimony to his bat voice, because you see it and hear it, that transition, and it's subtle, but it's so powerful. It's so powerful. Freak. First of all, just curiosity, who's your favorite bat voice? It's kind of a fun question.
Yeah, I have to agree with both you guys. Definitely Keaton. Yeah, Keaton gives the goosebumps every time he says that, more than anybody else does. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree. Any thoughts on the trailer you just want to throw in? Please just do. But I am going to ask a question, and I hope this doesn't deviate too much, but I think it's important. Watching this, knowing the changes that are coming, does that leave you feeling empty at all? Or are you like, you know what, who cares? This could be a standalone great film and could open the doors for new things? Or how do you feel about that just as a fan? I'm curious.
When we were texting, I said this is going to be a lame duck Flash movie.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah,
because I just didn't think, I'm like, what's the point of all this? Same thing with Aquaman. I don't really understand how any of this is going to work. But actually, after seeing this and understanding that this, to James Gunn's point, this is going to sort of kick off the DCU and kind of reshape it. Like, it makes sense that, the Flash would be the one to do that. I just didn't think it was going to hit as hard as this. And look, I'm judging it based on one solid trailer,
which is what we're talking about. So it's all good.
But I'll retract my statement. I don't think this is going to be a lame duck movie. I think this is actually going to be the catalyst. I believe it now. Like, I didn't think it was. I have got a very long history with DC, and I've been a letdown fan in many, many ways. So I feel a little sense of optimism kind of growing in the gut. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a movie that's going to do something that I don't think we would have expected something to do for a whole franchise. Like, I really do think it's going to be the restart. And to Zaki's point, I think what in terms of Supergirl, there's room. Like, I think there's room for them to pick and choose the things that will work from this film. Like Ezra is one of those things, obviously. I think Supergirl is the biggest question mark for me. I think she looks great. She looks a little, obviously she looks like she's got some anger issues, which
Hey,
kind of plays too.
Yeah, Freak, I wanted you to jump on that.
Yeah, not to jump in, but I'm just rereading James Gunn's tweet. The first one that tweeted out the movie, and just for him saying, "I love this movie so much. Can't wait for you all to see it." So I don't think it's going to be a lame duck movie either. I think if you remember one of his first comments about the whole thing, he's like, we're going to keep what works and we're going to get rid of what doesn't work, and this is obviously working. And especially if this does well at the box office, which are expecting it to, I'm sure. I mean, that's going to, set such a precedent, so.
Well, and nostalgia is going to get people there. The quality will keep them there and have them return. And if we get a quality film, which it looks like we are, then man, it's going to be a wild ride in these next couple of years and how this all unfolds and everything. Bob, I'm assuming we're going to get a scene, hopefully, with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. Wouldn't you think? Or no? Do we need it or no?
I don't know that we need it, but it may happen. Just the success of No Way Home, suggesting that maybe that's the sort of thing that we throw in there that would be an audience pleaser. But I don't necessarily need it. You know what? I wanted to just ask a question for the room by way of maybe this is a spoiler. Maybe we don't know yet, but I get the sense that we're going to see Michael Keaton's Batman in two different times, because at one point he says, why would you come back to this time? And I'm wondering if Ezra Miller confronts or meets up with Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, 40 years ago or whatever it was, back in the day, like in the early 90s, so to speak,
sure.
When he was really ensconced in the Burtonverse. And that's my first question. And then I also wanted to point out real quick a couple of things that you kind of may have not noticed in the trailer, but we heard Danny Elfman's Batman theme.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
amazing. And then Supergirl flying next to the Batwing, which we haven't seen since 1989, since it crashed into the Gotham Cathedral. And I thought that was
my ways of a gun.
Great shot. Yeah. So those are just a couple of things I wanted to observe. But I guess the question for the room is, are we going to see Batman in a couple of different times? I'm trying to put this all together in my head as to what the overall narrative might be. And it's probably an impossible task given the fact that we're talking about time travel. So it could be all over the place. We don't know for sure. But what's clear now, especially based on the synopsis that got posted, is that, and I don't know if you guys want me to even mention what was posted by way of the synopsis. Should I mention it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Public information. But what happens is, I think the Flash has to hunt down Keaton's Batman after all the metahumans disappear in the new present time. Yeah, and so Batman helps the Flash break Supergirl out of prison, where she's being held and confined in a way where she can't use her powers, where she's deprived of the sun, which then gives her powers on Earth. So there's part of the story is going to be a prison break, which is, I think that's what we see in the snowy climate.
Right.
There are the soldiers and by the way, Batman in broad daylight. Keaton's Batman in broad daylight, which I've never seen before. Look, you know what? That looked way better than the shot that was in the Batcave.
Yeah,
Michael Keaton in that one, or I think it was a couple of shots. There was like a punching shot, and then there was a low angle shot, and they both look outstanding. So that I'm excited about that too. I just want to throw in a couple other details of that.
No, that's awesome. Saki, I just want to like pound you with like Michael Keaton questions. I'm trying not to, but I know everybody here is a fan of his Batman. You and I have talked about it. I've probably talked about it more directly with you than anybody here over the years. I'm gonna. This is a weird one, but bear with me, okay? Is this Batman? Are we going to get a sense of history? And this could tie into a little bit of what Bob was asking too, in a sense. But here's my question: are we going to talk about Michael Goff's Alfred, and did Michael Keaton's Batman ever have a Robin? And if he did, is it Chris O'Donnell's, or that's gone, right? The Joel Schumacher universe never existed in this. Well, you see what I'm saying? Like, what do you think in terms of a historical context for this character that we're going to get? You know, if you take it from 1992 to 2023 in terms of when we've seen him, and we just assume the same amount of time has passed in real life and, you know, fake real life. What has his Batman been doing this whole time, his Bruce Wayne, since the events of Batman Returns? And then how does that tie into this, you think?
Well, from the film and you know, the way we see the Batmobile is kind of covered in cobwebs and whatnot. My sense is that he's been out of the game for a while, and so Barry compels him to suit up again. As far as the backstory, you know, I don't know if the Batman '89 comic series that they've just done in the last year, I don't know if that's considered quote unquote canon, but I mean that has Marlon Wayans as Robin. You know, it's got Billy D. Williams as Harvey Two-Face, and right, and so
Yeah.
And he just did Lando a couple years ago. He's ready.
Anyway, I mean,
Literally dust him off.
I know that in the Batgirl, you know, set photos that were leaked, there was a picture of Batman and Robin. I don't remember what Robin looked like, but that was intended to be, you know, the Keaton Batman's backstory. I think, right?
And you said that was for Batgirl, right?
That's Batgirl. So I mean, it
was a mural that was painted.
Like a mural.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I don't remember what Robin looked like, but there was definitely Robin. I remember.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my goodness, that's right.
Yeah, and it
wasn't Chris O'Donnell's Robin. I can remember.
It's funny how retrospectively the Schumacher films have been turned into their own universe, but we all know that wasn't the case when they came out. Those were meant to be the sequels to the two Burton movies, right? And hey, I love how we're in an age now where you can talk to a random person on the street and be like, "Oh no, it's multiverse," and I'd be like, "Oh, all right, cool." Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, because trying to explain all this to people is like it's mind numbing. But somehow Spider-Man No Way Home, which by the way, in my opinion, was a beautiful film and shouldn't have worked. Every scene with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland was so much fun and pure joy, and that could have just fallen apart. And so, but because with the success of that, and obviously the animated films and what have you, we are living in a world now where all this stuff is just, I mean, we got Brandon Routh back as Superman 2 years ago, and it's normal and it's okay, and you just never know who might pop up now. And now we have Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton's Batman, and then we have Matt Reeves' universe existing, and then this is going to spawn the DCU James Gunn Batman, and it's wild. It's super wild. Oh man, Aaron. In terms of so you were skeptical. You're not now. Just to kind of give us some closing statements here on your end in terms of what your expectations are, and then what do you kind of hope happens next, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. That trailer was enough for me to say, okay, you got me in the seat in June, whatever 16th it is. I'm not gonna watch any more trailers after this point because, like, I don't want to spoil anything. I feel like based on this trailer, the merits are solid, and I'm cautiously optimistic. Like I said, I've got a little growing optimism in my stomach. Yeah, I think this movie is going to do really well. To your point before about kind of getting people in the seats, the nostalgia factor. I do think that, nodding to Ben Affleck's Batman, all of these things are going to work really well. Andy Muschietti, the great director. It sounds like he's got a lot of great energy, and it's obviously showing. So yeah, I don't really think we need anything else, honestly. I mean, we'll probably get a couple more trailers between now and in June. But yeah, I'm excited to see Keaton come back as Batman. But I'm also excited to see what Ezra Miller does with the Flash, because I was always I
was impressed with him in this trailer, and they used him more than I thought they would, honestly.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
Like I said,
cautiously optimistic. I love it. So, Freak, any just final thoughts on this, or you want to comment on anything that's been mentioned?
Well, I'm just, we haven't talked about the pink Joel Schumacher elephant in the room, about the big rumor about that George Clooney's going to be making an appearance in this thing too as well. I don't know if you guys even want to go down that rabbit hole or not.
I think if Grace Randolph says it, it's probably not true. That's where I'm.
Well,
Yeah.
I've heard. Well, she also said that he was going to be, whoever this person was, that they were going to continue on into the DCU. That was definitely the BS part. I've heard this from multiple places. I really think that Clooney might be at least making, if nothing else, a small cameo in the movie. So we'll see if that's true or not. But
And by the way, that's a fair distinction, and I'm not here to defend Grace, but the notion that he's going to take it over and be James Gunn's new Batman is ridiculous.
right.
But him just being in this film, who the hell knows? Right? Again, Brandon Routh came back.
multiverse.
Brandon Routh and Andrew Garfield returned to their respective roles, and I would never would have guessed that. So who knows? And I'm down for it. I mean, look, Clooney there was nothing wrong with his Bruce Wayne or Batman, and it's a beautiful scene with he and Alfred and Batman and Robin.
And
one of
we've
the
talked
best in the
about that a
franchise.
lot, you and I. Right?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We have. We both agree. You take that isolated scene, it's as good as any scene in any Batman film, and
It's
probably
he says, "I love you, old man," and it's like we've never seen that between
Right.
Bruce and Alfred in that way,
God, thinking about it, Zachy, that that all the great stuff with Michael Caine and Christian Bale and this stuff also, and the Batman, but I think that might be the best damn Bruce Wayne Alfred scene in the franchise. And Batman and Robin, just an isolated scene. It's beautiful. So
Isolated.
Way isolated.
way isolated, like on an island by itself.
Right.
Antarctica.
just that fucking clip, and that's it. But Freak again, I will say that I'm on board with it, and he's such a beloved actor and just a cool guy that I could see him rolling on there, and he's got a great sense of humor about everything anyway. And maybe it'll give him a little bit of an Andrew Garfield, like a little swan song or a little redemption.
Well,
Yeah.
let me quickly say what I think the
Go,
best thing
please.
about the trailer was for the general audience, is not for people like us that know everything about everything with these characters. It really, watching it didn't seem like, if I didn't know anything about Batman or know anything about Affleck or whatever all the drama was, I would have watched this and I would have understood. I think a general audience person, the way it was presented, could understand the concept that they were presenting. It wasn't like, what? Too bad, man. Like, partially is because of Spider-Man No Way Home, true, but also by the way, I think there's a little bit of Back to the Future in it too as well, in terms of like those kind of overtones, so people kind of understand the conceptually. So I think this is a hit, not just with people like us. I think general audiences will really, really get, be able to sink their teeth into this too, and it'll get them excited, I think, as well.
I agree. Bob, did it strike you at all seeing two Ezra Millers on screen? Do you think that Keaton was a de facto consultant on that because of multiplicity?
Yeah, that hasn't occurred to me. Look, honest to God, I don't want to bring the conversation down to a more serious level, but my big concern is that there's going to be some sort of Ezra Miller smear campaign that's going to precede this, that may damage its box office, that may damage its public perception. And obviously, Ezra Miller has had his myriad issues, and whether he's going to end up in prison. I mean, he could end up doing press from prison because of some of those things. And, I'm not going to weigh in one way or another on those things, but my concern is that no matter how good this movie might be, that may be an element here, like an X factor that drags it down as far as its reception. And obviously it has nothing to do with the movie itself, it has to do with the lead in the movie. And the fact that, man, is it ballsy to have, as this portion of the conversation started out, not one, but two Ezra Millers. That's why when there was conversation about recasting Flash in this movie and doing with a different actor, it's not just shooting one Flash. It's not just shooting one Barry. They would have to shoot two Barrys, which is twice the amount of pickups and replacement shots. And it would have been, even with the long delay in getting this movie out, it would have been a nightmare from a technical point of view.
I agree, and a lot of us go back to the Future. Guys, help me out. Who was the actor that was replaced?
Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz, thank you. But to Bob's larger point, this is far more complicated than that. But listen, here's the deal: it comes out in June. Let's hope, for the sake of this guy. I think the kid's troubled. I hope he's better. I hope he gets help, and I think he's a great talent. So let's just kind of hope for the best. And it's February 12th now as we're recording this. The film comes out in 4 months, right? Maybe everything will be okay. But overall, just real quick, final hoorah. Awesome, right? Everybody's pumped.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that was a fantastic trailer. It had a lot of heart in it too, which I think is probably testimony to the director. And it'll be interesting to see also what if anything happens with Michael Keaton's Batman, because at one point in time they had plans for him to continue, and obviously he was in Batgirl. If this is his final film, you know what? I'll take it. I just give me him one more time on the screen and like seal, just not that he needed it, but just seal that legacy as one of the finest actors to play the role. And the actor that, even though he wasn't the original, he was by definition technically the third live action actor, right? The two serials were two different actors.
Fourth.
Adam West.
Four.
Yeah, before with
There were
Adam.
two different serial actors, then Adam West, and then Michael Keaton.
Yeah. I said that right. I did the math wrong. Yeah, the fourth actor. He is in a lot of ways the definitive actor, because he took that post Frank Miller world and created a serious Batman on screen. And again, I go back to like that could have not worked. And if they could go back in time, should have given him first billing, not Nicholson. I'm kidding. Anyway, all right, Aaron.
We actually forget how subversive 89 was. Batman 89. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a complete sea change, at least in terms of general audiences.
There was no Twitter.
Yes,
There's no,
Superman.
there's no Twitter.
Richard Donner's Superman and Batman 89 are very pivotal films. So let's go around and do a plug. And then if you just have any final thoughts, this is just a live show. I'm not even cutting this as a podcast. This is just up for us to share and geek out together. So Aaron, floor is yours, and I'll make my rounds here.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm Aaron, and you can catch me at the Fanboy Garage on Twitter and wherever you find great podcasts.
Awesome. I'm going to be back in New York in a few months, and we'll get together. Zaki Hassan.
First of all, Rick, thanks for roping us all in to do this. It's such a blast.
Yeah, thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
One thing I wanted to address about Ezra Miller, this sort of, as you were talking, it occurred to me. I wonder how much of the sort of kerfuffle surrounding them is an online only type of thing. I wonder if your person on the street is even really aware of it outside of that's something, whatever, like I think it feels like more of an online thing. And then the other thought I had is I see this and it makes me long for the world where Christopher Reeve was still with us. And
oh my gosh,
he could be honored in this same way, because he would be. He would be.
Man, you just brought a tear to my eye.
Right.
I could not agree with that more. I mean, truly, wow. Do you think we'll see Brandon Routh again, or Henry Cavill for that matter?
I think. Well, it took 31 years for Keaton to come back. I think Henry Cavill said he's got the cape in his closet, right? All those years. I think never say never,
I love it. That's exactly to Freak's point about George Clooney. Never say never. All right. So where can we find you, sir?
You check out the Movie Film Podcast. That's one word, Movie Film, wherever you get your podcasts. And I write for the San Francisco Chronicle. You can look at my reviews there and also at IGN.
That's right. And you are a certified critic on Rotten Tomatoes and have been now for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, it's which is ironic because I'm vehemently opposed to what Rotten Tomatoes has done to film criticism. So I'm torn. I'm a regular Harvey Two-Face.
Because I'm a restaurant guy, it's like Yelp has done that to us, and then same kind of thing. Freak, my friend, and the purveyor or the author of some really amazing music. I can't thank you enough for allowing us to use your music on our show, my friend. It's an honor, and it's really fits. It's perfect. Thank you. But just want to say that. So any final thoughts and plugs, please?
Just like everybody else, super, super excited. And I'm kind of with you guys. It's like, I don't even know if I want to see another trailer now. I would just love to have just what this feeling that I'm feeling right now. Right. I want to just walk in the theater with this feeling right now. I don't want to be, I don't want to be skewed between now and June. I mean, of course, I say that now, 2 months from now, it'll probably change, but that's the way I feel right now for sure. And yeah, in terms of how finding me, and thank you, Rick. I love the way you guys use the song too, as well. I am just like all of us right here. I'm over at Twitter at Freakbase with 2 E's. Twitch is where I hang out most of my days anymore, which is twitch.tv/freakbase, just making lots of live stream and music and all the socials, TikTok, Instagram, everything. It's all at Freakbase. So stop over there and see me sometime.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. All right, Mr. Bob Seska. How about you, sir?
All right.
Final thoughts, and where can we find you?
Well, yeah, I'm super excited about this. Obviously, I'm a gigantic Batman fan, and I feel almost as though the Flash is like the cereal part of Lucky Charms. It's like, well, and the Batman is the marshmallow. Everyone prefers the marshmallow.
Well said.
Yeah,
That's pretty dope, right?
But I hope that people don't lose sight of the interesting character that Barry Allen is in that process. So, really excited, and I'm mostly excited for James Gunn's DCU. In fact, I'm way more excited for that than I am for the other 3 movies that are coming out beyond the Flash. The other 3 DC movies, Blue Beetle, Aquaman 2, and what am I forgetting? What's the third one? I forget. I'm missing one. Someone help.
Shazam.
Yeah. I'm really psyched for James Gunn to take over and that storyline to get started. So, and you can find my podcast at right there. It's on the screen.
That's
there
right.
It is right there. BobSeskashow.com.
Love it. All right, guys. Thanks again. And thank you all for watching and everything. It's been an honor thus far. Me, Courtney Cheek, and Brian Chatlin appreciate it. The podcast version of the show is finally up on iTunes. So we can be found wherever great podcasts are found. I am Rick Shue. Thank you very much. And Michael Keaton is back. He's back.
Get down.
It's that Get Down. See you later.
All right, guys.
Take care.